Up with KREM begins now.
Twitter video released by President Trump after his ban was lifted has more than 30 million views this morning. In it, he admits defeat for the first time.
My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power.
This morning, why some of his colleagues are still saying this is not enough.
Plus, the Kootenai County Republican Central Committee has not condemned the riot at the Capitol, even though there are photos like this on their Facebook page of demonstrators. This morning, we'll tell you what other Republican organizations in the area have to say.
And we're looking at an absolutely beautiful sunrise, and your eyes aren't fooling you. That's clear skies overhead. I'll let you know how long they stick around.
Coming up on 7:01 this morning on Up with KREM, we begin with updates on the Capitol breach.
CBS News learned some rioters are still in the D.C. area and may be planning new attacks.
Roughly 6,200 members of the National Guard will help support the Capitol Police and other law enforcement in Washington for the next 30 days. The public emergency for the city will also stay in place until January 20th. Inauguration Day road closures might be altered.
Crews also set up tall metal fences designed to be difficult to climb. Similar structures we've seen around the White House and in other cities that face prolonged demonstrations.
Now, U.S. Capitol Police also announced late last night that one of their officers died from injuries suffered during a confrontation with rioters at the U.S. Capitol. This is video of police at the Capitol last night remembering the officer.
The officer is identified as Brian Sicknick. It reads, Officer Sicknick was responding to the riots on Wednesday, January 6, 2021 at the U.S. Capitol and was injured while physically engaging with protesters. He returned to the division office and collapsed. He was taken to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. The officer's death is being investigated by the department's homicide branch and federal authorities. Meanwhile, since the riots, the head of the Capitol Police resigned and more people in the president's cabinet are stepping down. Two big names, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos and Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, both resigning.
President Trump has also released a video that we showed you at the top of the hour condemning the violence by his supporters as he faces talks of a forceful removal from office. Now, in that video, Trump acknowledges defeat and says he's focused on a smooth transition of power.
Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation.
Now, the feeling from many politicians across the country, especially on social media this morning, is that the video is too little, too late.
A number of lawmakers are calling for the removal of the president from office under the 25th Amendment. This comes less than 2 weeks before Trump is set to leave office. This includes 9 federal lawmakers from Washington and Governor Jay Inslee. Dozens of lawmakers in other states made similar calls for removal, including Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. How would that work? In our next half hour, we'll break down the process.
Local leaders are also speaking out against the riots, including Spokane City Council's Betsy Wilkerson. She spoke to KREM about differences that she saw between protests for Black Lives Matter this summer and Wednesday's riot.
When you saw or look back at the pictures of the Black Lives Matters protest and saw the display of police militia at that peaceful protest, I don't know how people can't put 2 and 2 together.
Now, moving forward, the council member wants to use this moment as a learning opportunity. She says she plans on having conversations with others in the community and that they will discuss the current state of our country.
More local groups are responding to the riots in Washington, D.C., including Republican organizations here in Spokane County and Idaho. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez joins us live in Coeur d'Alene to tell us about one organization that has yet to condemn the violence.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. So both Idaho and Spokane groups have condemned the violence that happened at the Capitol, but one group that we haven't heard from yet is the Kootenai County Republican Central Committee, on its Facebook page, the Kootenai County Republican Central Committee did post some video of the rally. You can see this from this YouTube video. They also shared these photos of what they say are Kootenai County residents at the rally. Some show the bottom of the Capitol as people mobbed the building. KREM 2 reached out to the Kootenai County Republican Central Committee on Facebook and its chairman Brent Reagan by email on Thursday and was sent the following statement in both instances. They said, quote, "At this time, I do not have any first-hand information and have not spoken to anyone that does. If you seek baseless speculation, there are others far more skilled at that than me," unquote. KREM reached out for clarification about the group's stance on that riot, and this is what Reagan had to say after that. He said, quote, "The committee has not yet met to discuss this matter, and so there is no official position until they have. Our state party chairman, Tom Luna, has issued a statement, so I would refer you to there," unquote. The Idaho Republican Party chairman did say that he did condemn the violence and also said that he thinks the next step for our country, for the best thing, is a peaceful transition of power. Live in Coeur d'Alene, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Well, it's a mixed bag out there early on this morning. As you saw in Coeur d'Alene, it's a bit of patchy fog. Here in town, it's clear skies overhead and cool temperatures. And as you look around the region, we have a bit of everything. But let's just soak this in. That's clear sky. It's been a while since we've been able to see that. And because of it, temperatures have dropped 30 degrees here in Spokane, same in Coeur d'Alene, 32 in Sandpoint, 32 in Pullman as well. Grand Coulee and Omak down around freezing, same with Walla Walla. Those spots, watch out for slick spots on the road because of some freezing of some of that moisture. Some of that patchy fog in areas, so be ready for that as you head out the door as well. And as we scoot through the day, expect more cloud cover to take over. If you want those clear skies, enjoy them now. Clouds move in here rather quickly in the next hour or so. And then comes the moisture, but watch what happens as it scoots across the state. Most of it just kind of gets eaten up. We lose the energy, we lose the moisture. And by this evening, it's a few scattered light showers that push through, and that's really about it. They don't last long and they don't offer much. A big change from what we've been seeing lately. This weekend, though, looking much drier and staying quite mild. In fact, 38 degrees today is basically what you're going to get for the next 3 days in a row. Joshua?
Well, milkshakes are out and wings are in, but that is not all at the Spokane Comedy Club.
If we can make it, we will sell it. Whatever we have to do to get to the other side of this so comedy can come back.
We'll take you inside their latest efforts to keep the local comedy club alive in pandemic times.
And yesterday we asked you to send us questions through social media. We wanted to know what questions you still have about the stimulus checks. In our next half hour, I'm giving you the answer. Stick around. We have more Up with KREM coming up.